Welcome to The Power of Earth with Comfort by Climate Master. This Clean Heat podcast series shows you how you can save up to 70% on your energy bills with geothermal heating, cooling, and hot water, and how utility incentives and tax credits can pay for a large portion of your new geothermal system. The air, water, earth, and sun awes us. These awesome forces of nature can provide 1,000 times more energy than we need. You and me are also forces of nature. Women and mankind, all earthkind, are the fifth element. We are literally changing the world. Awesome Earthkind's geothermal heating and cooling podcast series, The Power of Earth with Comfort by Climate Master, shows you how you can tap into the energy under your feet to heat and cool your home, create hot water, and save up to 70% on your energy bills. Great. Welcome, Mark Brescia, to the Awesome Earthkind podcast, and specifically focused on geothermal today. And if you would, let us know who you are, what's your title, and what do you do for Con Edison, Mark?
Great. Yeah, Ron, thanks so much for having me. I'm Mark Brescia. I'm in our non-pipeline solutions section, which is part of our energy efficiency and demand management department. And what we do is we launch new programs and expand existing efforts, primarily focused on incentives to help customers switch off of fossil fuels for heating or reduce their existing fossil fuel usage through programs like energy efficiency and demand response. And these offers are not just limited to small residential customers. They're for all customers of Con Edison. That includes multifamily and commercial customers, big and small. We work on programs that have things like insulation and air sealing, and that'll help you reduce your usage. Always reduce your load first. That's my big thing. Use less first, and then add in these renewables, heat pumps. So we do everything from heating, water heating system replacements, or improvements to the distribution system that moves that hot or cool air through the building, using advanced controls. And a lot of what I do is actually things like this, where I'm really just making sure our customers are aware of all the incentives and offers we have available. We do a lot of marketing. We do emails and postcards and social media too. So a lot of just really making sure we're getting the word out and people know to ask for these incentives and find participating contractors that can install all of these advanced technologies for our customers.
Fantastic. And we like to start with why. Why is Con Edison moving to clean energy, and why are you involved with this program, Mark?
Yeah, definitely. So Con Edison is really committed to leading and delivering the transition to the clean energy future that our customers deserve and expect. We work together with government, our customers, industry, various stakeholders to help rapidly reduce the use of fossil fuels. And for me, it isn't my job. It really is my passion, and I've turned that passion into a career. I've been passionate about the environment, since I was little, but I took the opportunity in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis to really shift my career in that direction and use my project management skills to design and launch, new ways for people to reduce their energy usage. I've worked on the New Jersey Clean Energy Program in my home state, getting customers to understand CFL light bulbs, and now that's advanced to LED light bulbs. Really easy way to shift, and you still don't do anything different than you normally do. You still just flip the switch. I've worked in Maryland down on our home performance with Energy Star, and that's like I said before, the weatherization programs to really tighten up building envelope, keep that hot or cool air inside your building where it's benefiting you and not just wasted to the outside and wasting money. And then I came back up here to New York City to work on Mayor Bloomberg's initiative, converting the largest city buildings off of heavy heating oil. And that was a huge effort to reduce air pollution and really inspired a lot of my work going forward, which is focused on finding ways to help people and building owners find that the best solution for heating, space heating, water heating, cooking, and really now that's heat pumps. They're available. They're in the market. They can deal with the New York cold climate, and it's the most efficient way to heat and cool our buildings. So making sure people are aware of these options and how to connect with the people that can install them.
Wow. So you are involved with pretty much the entire range of clean energy technologies on efficiency and heating and cooling and hot water. And why don't you tell us a little bit about the geothermal heating and cooling systems and how those works and what kind of how Con Ed looks at that technology and what kind of incentives you offer to consumers?
Yeah, geothermal is one of the programs that I work on very specifically, primarily focused with our residential customers. And the geothermal technology is what I consider to be the best of the heat pump technologies. It is the highest efficiency, and that's because it's exchanging energy with the earth, and the earth is a constant temperature. And so, the earth is acting, when people think of renewable energy, they think of solar panels, right? Absorbing energy from the sun. Well, the earth, ground is a giant solar battery. It's absorbing all of this energy, and it's massive, so it can retain lots and lots of heat. And so geothermal taps into that energy by exchanging, not creating or pulling anything from the ground, but exchanging that energy through a compression cycle and a heat pump with the earth, and is able to distribute that throughout your building, your home. So it's the most efficient of the heat pump technologies, and it can provide both space heating as well as water heating or supplemental heating, even with small things like a desuperheater. And Con Edison has significant incentives for all types of heat pumps. A great way to get started, is usually the equipment that breaks the most often is your water heater. And so there are heat pump water heaters. These are, pretty easy replacements when you're looking at air source heat pump water heaters. There are also geothermal options for water heating, but that's usually done in combination with an entire geothermal heat pump to heat your space as well. And so there's incentives for geothermal for $2,850, and that's per per heating capacity. What does that mean for the average customer? What's the total incentive that you're looking at? On average, for a single family home in Westchester, it's about $12,000. So it's a lot of money. And we have similar incentives, a little bit less for the other air source heating options, either ductless mini splits that a lot of people are familiar with. If you walk into a restaurant or a fitness center, you'll see them. They're usually on the wall, and what's great about them is they can be positioned anywhere, and you don't need to do any ducting and retrofitting. A lot of homes in Westchester just aren't suitable for ductwork. The historic and older homes, there just isn't the headspace for that. So these are a great option, especially for those that are looking for that central cooling without having to do all of that ductwork. So a lot of different options there for heat pumps, and for our larger customers, we have incentives of $150 per MMBTU of energy savings. Again, doesn't translate so easily, but we have engineering teams, and they work with the designers and developers of these larger programs. So we're happy to connect with anyone interested in those type of projects to determine what that kind of total incentive amount would be.
Wonderful. So if somebody's looking at a geothermal system, though, the average family can expect somewhere around $12,000 worth of cash incentives from Con Edison to help them make that transition. And does that get come to them as a rebate afterwards, or it goes to the contractor? Or how does it work?
Yeah, it's actually even better. There's no real paperwork for the customer to fill out. You don't have to wait for a check. It's actually right off the top of the install price. So there are no additional forms or waiting. So this is money just to reduce your your out-of-pocket costs right up front, and get you going on geothermal or heat pumps right away.
Fantastic. And Con Ed has this program. What are the goals of this whole clean heating program? Is it called the Con Edison? What is it called now? There's a new name for it, right?
Yes, yes. So it's the New York State Clean Heat program, and so this is not just an effort of Con Edison. Con Edison is the local electric utility here in New York City and Westchester, but all of the electric utilities that participate are doing this, and so the goals really are to accelerate the reduction of fossil fuels for heating, and this is to achieve those larger New York State goals for a low carbon future. And this is a partnership between all of the electric utilities as well as the New York State Research and Development Authority, commonly known as NYSERDA. And so the utilities, we're the ones providing those incentives that I just talked about. We administer it, we coordinate all of that, and then NYSERDA is doing a lot of other market enabling actions to support this. So we want to provide a consistent customer and contractor experience statewide. So whether you're in Con Edison territory or Orange and Rockland territory, or maybe you have a home in both. We want to make sure that it's a very similar way to do it. This will help our contractors really be able to scale up and not have to deal with, I have to do this submission this way and this submission that way, and that can cause a lot of problems. So these incentives are very set. The program is running now through 2025. So while the specific dollar amounts are different by each utility and may change over time, there will be incentives supporting heat pumps from now through 2025, and that's really important because you need to plan these projects. These are not just a one-day project where you just take the old one out and put in a new one. There is a level of coordination required, and so it's really important to think about, I'm going to do this project, and gives you time to work with multiple contractors and really plan it out correctly.
Fantastic. And how do Con Ed customers access the program? Where can people find that kind of information?
Yeah, so the first place you should go is coned.com/heat pumps, plural, heat pumps. And so that'll give you, the starting point, and it'll help you find which technology is right for you. Is ductless mini splits right? Is geothermal right? Can I, start off with a water heater? And it'll tell you all about those technologies. But the next step from there, and it's on the page, is reaching out to a local contractor. And they'll correctly size the heat pump, provide the installation costs, as well as those incentives right off the top so that you know what the final price is.
Outstanding. So Mark, you think that there's maybe one big and unique, we call them supernovas, an idea that tip, tool, a tactic that most people need to know but probably don't?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people, there's a big misconception with geothermal that you need a huge lot, a massive yard. It's not the case. A lot of people think that because when you're first thinking about geothermal, you're thinking about rural areas, very dissimilar to what we have in Westchester, where they're installing these long horizontal loops in a field. That's not how we do it here. In the New York metro area, we install the loops vertically, so you don't need a very big yard at all. Lot sizes, 10,000 square feet, which is roughly a quarter of an acre. You can still get geothermal, just traditional vertical loop air, water to air geothermal system, and it'll work. But even if you've looked at it before and you thought, well, my lot isn't even that big, there's another type of geothermal system called direct exchange, and that can be installed in even smaller spaces. So I really encourage you, if you have any yard at all, take a look, consider geothermal as your first choice, and take it from there.
Yeah, on a commercial basis, and it's really true even on a residential new construction basis. But when you take a look at what's happening around the globe, really, we're now finding that just going under the footprint of a building down 500 feet with these geothermal wells, sending a pipe down that exchanges heat with the earth, so it comes back up. It's got that 55 degrees in this part of the world. That those holes right under the footprint of a building can carry carry the heating, cooling, and hot water for a 25-story building, which is pretty incredible. So if you don't have much of a yard, reality is, as you said, Mark, you really don't need much of a yard. And if you're doing new construction, it's really almost a no-brainer. Just put the holes right under your new structure and you're all set. So
Yeah. With new construction, you can build, like you said, right underneath the building, straight to the lot lines, and it's great. We have a lot of existing construction. We have a lot of beautiful buildings here in the New York metro area and Westchester. So even these existing buildings, if they have courtyards, that's accessible from the street, you can do it there, or parking lots or driveways. So it's not just limited to soft earth. These drills, can go through rock or pavement. The New York soil is not too tough for these drills. They can get down deep with no problems.
And speaking of the geothermal providers, what they say actually is rock is the best thing, because the worst is sand, because it keeps filling in the holes. So rock is actually a good thing. And I was blown away to find out that in Con Ed territory, one of the most famous icons in the world just recently did a geothermal retrofit, and that was St. Patrick's Cathedral, which I'm still amazed that they did geothermal under St. Patrick's Cathedral, 2,000 feet under in Manhattan. Unbelievable.
And it's a beautiful install. I had a chance to take a look at that, what would be considered the boiler room or the mechanical room, and it's amazing. Con Edison is really proud of that project. We've actually featured it as well in some of our social media and Facebook posts if you want to learn more.
Yeah, it really is astonishing. And, it wound up being cheaper capital wise. So if compared to the other alternatives, because St. Patrick's is a historical building, so doing almost anything else was unbelievably expensive. And then energy wise, they're saving like 30% or so, right?
Yeah, it's because of those, huge ceilings. There's so much, space to heat and cool. You've got to use the most efficient technology to do that cost effectively, and that's geothermal 100%.
Outstanding. So, what's the one thing you're most energized about today, Mark?
Yeah, I would say, it's very recent news that the federal tax credit, the federal investment tax credit, is held at 26% for 2021. But what's really exciting is that that's actually extended for 2022. It was set to reduce, and now, as part of this federal spending package approved 2 weeks ago, it's going to hold steady at 26%. This, is huge. That is a lot
Thank
of
you for
money
joining
off of these
today's
systems.
podcast,
It's
The Power
combination
of
Con Edison
Earth,
Clean
with
Heat
comfort
incentives to
from
reduce the total
Climate
cost of the
Master.
geothermal
Please go to our
installation.
website, awesomeearthkind.com,
It's
to register
really
for
important,
a
like I
very
said before, to
special
plan to
free
upgrade to
geothermal web
The
class.
installation itself,
You'll
it's
discover
about 3
how
steps.
geothermal heating and
the digging
cooling
of
can
those
draw
deep
energy
loops,
from the ground beneath
like you
our
said, up
feet
to 500
for
feet,
pennies,
and then
while
bringing
your
those deep
neighbors and
loops,
homeowners
across
everywhere
and
are
doing a little
making
bit
the
of
switch.
piping work outside
The
of your
secrets
house,
to securing
trenching,
utility
to bring it
incentives
into
and
your
tax
foundation,
credits to
and then,
pay for a
adding
large
in that
portion of your
existing,
new geothermal system,
replacing the
and
existing
so much
interior
more.
unit. So it's 3 steps.
If you want to
each
save
step,
up to
it really only
70%
does
on
take
your
a day or
energy
two,
bills,
but,
register now
you have
for
to do
this free
design and
special event
permitting,
that will show you
you
exactly
really
how
need
to get
plan.
geothermal
So
heating and
your
cooling
current heating system
installed
is
in your
struggling
home.
this winter, or
Take your next
last
step
summer,
to
your
create the
cooling
clean
system
energy
just
future
wasn't,
we all
keeping you
want and
comfortable,
our children
and
need
you're
and
experiencing
deserve.
high energy
Register
costs,
now for
it's
the
really the right
free
time to start
geothermal
looking
web
into,
class,
which
The
heat pump is right
Power
for you,
of Earth,
and
with
just
comfort
get it
from
installed this
Climate
spring.
Master,
The best
at
incentives and tax credits are available now. They're not getting any better.
www.awesomeearthkind.com.
Really,
That's
don't wait on this. You're gonna
www.awesomeearthkind.com.
see those savings over time, but the most incentives that you can receive are right now. And so plan your upgrade, think about your system, and take advantage of these tax credits and clean heat incentives from Con Edison.
So $12,000 from Con Edison, which is probably about a third or so of the total cost right off the top. Then a 26% federal tax credit that you get on your next tax bill. And jeepers, it makes it really cost effective, huh?
That's the plan.
Outstanding. All right, grand finale, a piece of parting advice you'd like to share, and the best way for people to contact you if you'd like them to contact you, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. So, heat pumps, including geothermal, they're good for customers to provide, affordable heating and cooling. They're good for the utility. They reduce our peak energy use, and they're good for the environment by reducing, CO2 and other air pollution. So all of these are great. It's good for everyone, and that's huge. But the one thing I said a little bit about this earlier is they're made even better when you do weatherization. You reduce your overall load. So even if the time is not right for you, your heating system, is still pretty new, do a weatherization project to lower your usage, lower your load. That's going to reap rewards when you do come in time to install the heat pump. So, look at the heat pumps if the time is right. But if it's not, go ahead and do weatherization now, or even if now is the time, combine it with a weatherization project. It's really going to be the best solution. You're going to be able to get a smaller system size, potentially, and that could reduce your overall costs and improve your return on investment. So take a look at that first, and I'm always happy to discuss heat pump projects, but I would say make the first outreach to a few local clean heat participating contractors to scope out your heat pump upgrade. You can search for them on any of the technology pages from coned.com/heat pumps.
Coned.com/heat pumps, participating contractors in the program, incentives. Anything else that we missed that you want to touch on, Mark?
No, I think that's great, Ron. I really appreciate you having me here. I'm excited to let our customers know about these opportunities for 2021 and now 2022 as well. And definitely want to make sure that anything we can do to make this easier for you to make that transition to a cleaner, fossil fuel-free future. We're going to do it. We're one of the largest, solar providers in the country. We're going all in on support for electric vehicles, accelerating the move towards electric cars, trucks, and buses. We're connecting thousands of new public and customer-owned charging stations. We offer incentives for customers with electric vehicles to charge off-peak and get $1,000 for that. We're also investing in new transmission to support the use of increased renewable energy, including solar, as well as adding thousands of megawatts of large-scale energy storage, so that allows the solar and wind that's produced to keep flowing even when the sun is not shining, the wind is not blowing. So we're really going for this, and we're committed to being 100% clean electricity by 2040. So these are not things we're doing without a plan. We're really focused on this, and we're tripling our energy efficiency by 2030. So all of these different initiatives, including clean heat program and heat pumps, we're going to invest over $1.5 billion by 2025. So, we're right here with you. We're going to support this.
The clean energy future is here. It's now. It's a great way to have a positive impact on the environment and save money. Mark Brescia from Con Edison, all of Con Edison, thank you so much for your time and for all the great work you're doing, man. Keep it up.
Thanks, Ron. Really appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks so much. Thank you for joining today's podcast,
The Power of Earth with Comfort by Climate Master.
Please go to our website, awesomeearthkind.com, to register for a very special free geothermal web class. In
The Power of Earth with Comfort by Climate Master
interactive web class, you'll discover how geothermal heating and cooling can draw our energy from the ground beneath our feet for pennies, why your neighbors and homeowners everywhere are making the switch, the secrets to securing utility incentives and tax credits to pay for a large portion of your new geothermal system, and so much more. If you want to save up to 70% on your energy bills, register now for this free special event that will show you exactly how to get geothermal heating and cooling installed in your home. Take your next step to create the clean energy future we all want and our children need and deserve. Register now for the free geothermal web class at www.awesomeearthkind.com. That's www.awesomeearthkind.com.